The film begins by showing a scene where several senior warriors at the martial arts college are bullying one of the junior male warriors named Li Jing. They thought of Li Jing as a weakling who would only embarrass the good reputation of their college. Unbeknownst to them, one of the masters at the school had realized the immense potential and hidden power that lay within Li Jing. The master even assigned him to continue to hone his abilities and increase his strength so that he could help them eradicate the demons of darkness in this world. The master added that they all had to fight the dark demons as soon as possible, because the Darkness Demon Alliance continuously absorbed all the spiritual power of humans to resurrect the King of Darkness named Chi-Hao. Currently, the Dark Demon Alliance is still gathering all of humanity's spiritual power to destroy the altar that has been imprisoning King Chi-Hao for so long. Therefore, they had to act quickly before the demons managed to break the seal on the altar and resurrect the Dark Lord. In addition, the Dark Lord had sent the White Fox Demon and Black Tiger Demon to capture Li Jing, who turned out to be a young man destined to defeat King Chi-Hao. The scene switches to the moment where the White Fox Demon has managed to find Li Jing in a forest. At that time, Li Jing was fighting against a giant black dragon monster that was raging very fiercely. At first he seemed to be overwhelmed by the power of the black dragon, and the situation only got worse when Li Jing's heirloom sword was blown away by the monster. Fortunately, he was still able to restrict the movement of the black dragon by using the magic strings that were scattered on the ground. At that moment, Li Jing immediately took the opportunity to kill the black dragon using a special move. When the black dragon was overthrown, the huge gust of wind from the black dragon's body inadvertently made one of the tree branches flung violently and hit the White Fox Demon. Li Jing, who saw the incident, immediately approached the girl and carried her to an abandoned temple, without realizing that the girl was a demon. After carrying the girl into the temple and carefully laying her down, Li Jing immediately left the temple for some time. At that moment, the White Fox Demon seduced Li Jing's male friend with seduction and voluptuous touch in order to absorb all the spiritual energy from the young man. When Li Jing returned to the temple, he saw the completely naked White Fox Demon, so he immediately rushed to cover the girl's body. It was at that moment Li Jing saw the corpse of his comrade who had been lying stiff and began to realize that the girl he helped was a demon. Li Jing then quickly summoned his heirloom sword and intended to kill the White Fox Demon. With the power of his heirloom sword, he could easily defeat the White Fox Demon with just a few hits. Just as Li Jing was about to seal the White Fox Demon into the spiritual orb, the Black Tiger Demon suddenly appeared from the roof of the temple and attacked him. The Black Tiger Demon attempted to attack Li Jing repeatedly and even slammed the wooden cupboard against his body. Fortunately, Li Jing could still overcome all of the attacks and issued a counterattack that could overwhelm the Black Tiger Demon. When the Black Tiger Demon and the White Fox Demon started to get desperate, they immediately summoned the four-color demons to restrain Li Jing for a while so that they could escape from that place. After confirming that the Black Tiger Demon and White Fox Demon were safe, the four-colored demon women instantly freed Li Jing and disappeared. The next day, Li Jing went to Da Huang City to meet a male master swordsman named Jia. But when Li Jing arrived in the middle of the city, he found something odd because all the residents in the city used the attributes of the dark sect and lost their consciousness. Li Jing tried to communicate with some of the residents, but they completely ignored him and didn't show any reaction, as if they had been controlled by someone else. Then a man came over to Li Jing and gave him some incense so that he would join them. Li Jing became even more confused and had no idea what had actually happened to the entire town. Not long after, when Li Jing finally managed to find Master Jia, Li Jing immediately asked what had really happened in Da Huang City. Master Jia began to talk about the origin of all these events. Several hundred years ago, all the dark monsters, including the Dark Lord, had been successfully sealed within a black mountain altar by the dragon tribe. Unfortunately, at that time, the Dark Commander, who was a loyal servant of the Dark Lord Chi-Hao, managed to escape from the confines of the Black Mountain altar and hide in a forest. Since then, the Dark Commander has continuously recruited demons into the Dark Lord's army and ordered them to absorb the spiritual power of mankind. All of this was done with one main goal, which was to unseal the Black Mountain altar and resurrect the Dark Lord Chi-Hao. If he succeeds in resurrecting Chi-Hao, it is certain that there will be great chaos that could harm mankind. Master Jia then explained that there was a young man who was destined to defeat the Dark Lord, and that person was Li Jing. Hearing those words, Li Jing was taken aback and still found it hard to believe that the Dark Lord's power really existed. Master Jia tried to convince Li Jing by giving him magic powder so he could see that at this time, the entire population of Da Huang City had been enslaved by the Dark Lord. Upon seeing the abundance of darkness energy surrounding the townspeople, Li Jing began to think that what Master Jia said was really true. Master Jia then took Li Jing to a place to meet a female warrior from the Chen sect named Feng Shi. Feng Shi is the sect leader's envoy assigned to investigate what happened to Da Huang City's residents. They will devise a plan to stop the rituals performed by the Dark Commander and prevent the Demon Alliance from resurrecting the Dark Lord. Master Jia informed that it was most likely that they intended to absorb the spiritual energy of the residents of Da Huang City to fill the pool of blood in the Black Mountain altar. Therefore, they must immediately stop the ritual because when the pool of blood is full, the Dark Lord will truly rise again. After that, Master Jia took Li Jing and Feng Shi to a safe place in a forest so that the dark forces wouldn't know of their plan. Master Jia then says that the only treasure that can defeat the Dark Lord is the Xuan Yuan bow, which belongs to the white dragon demon living in the eastern China Sea. Without delaying any longer, the three of them immediately rushed to the China Sea and sailed toward the location. After sailing for several hours during the night, Li Jing and the others finally arrived at their destination and encountered the white dragon demon. Initially, there was a brief fight between them because the white dragon considered their presence a threat. The white dragon demon began to rampage and attack everyone, forcing Master Jia to take the ship away from that place. However, the white dragon demon still did not let them go and continued to chase the ship until Feng Shi almost fell into the ocean. Fortunately, Li Jing managed to save her and protected the ship using the power of the protective veil. After the situation calmed down, Master Jia tried to communicate with the white dragon demon and explain their purpose for coming to the place. After listening to the explanation, the white dragon demon immediately transformed into a male warrior and introduced himself as Ao Jing. Ao Jing is willing to help Master Jia by lending his legendary bow to defeat the Dark Lord to save the world from destruction. The next day, when Li Jing and the others returned to Da Huang City, they were suddenly confronted by the Black Tiger Demon and the White Fox Demon. They decided to split up, with Master Jia and Ao Jing going to the Black Mountain altar, while Li Jing and Feng Shi would fight against the two demons. When Jia and Ao Jing arrived at the altar, the dark forces guarding the place immediately attacked the two of them, and the battle began. When Ao Jing was about to shoot an arrow at the Dark Commander, one of them suddenly pulled Ao Jing's body so that his shot missed. The situation became even more precarious when the Dark Commander captured Ao Jing's Xuan Yuan bow and brought down Master Jia. Realizing that they would be killed, Jia rushed to grab Ao Jing and carried him away from the place using the teleportation portal. When everyone had gathered back into the forest, Li Jing looked annoyed at Ao Jing, who had acted recklessly by letting the enemy take the legendary bow. Meanwhile, the Dark Commander had ordered his troops to immediately absorb the spiritual power of Li Jing so that they could fill the pool of blood to unseal the altar. After a brief argument with Master Jia and Feng Shi, the frustrated Li Jing decided to go on the journey alone. Li Jing planned to go to the Black Mountain altar and defeat the army of darkness with his own power. But on the way, Li Jing was surprised by the appearance of the Dark Commander who had caught Feng Shi. He forced Li Jing to give up all his spiritual power, and if he refused the request, Feng Shi would be killed as a consequence. Worried about her safety, Li Jing was forced to surrender all his spiritual power. After successfully obtaining Li Jing's spiritual power, the Dark Commander and his troops immediately gathered in the center of the Black Mountain altar to perform a ritual to drain that power into the pool of blood. He looked satisfied when he found out that the blood pool inside the Black Mountain altar was almost full and the altar seal was almost open. On the other hand, Master Jia and the others again devise a plan to thwart the Dark Lord's revival. Master Jia ordered Li Jing to take Xuan Yuan's bow, while he, Ao Jing, and Feng Shi would try to break the rituals. That night, Master Jia, Ao Jing, and Feng Shi went to the altar and prepared to fight against all the forces of darkness. Li Jing, on the other hand, attempted to infiltrate their headquarters located within the Black Mountain to retrieve the Xuan Yuan bow. At the same time, Master Jia and the others were starting to struggle because the Dark Commander had now become stronger as a result of absorbing all the power energy of the entire Dark Army. Back to Li Jing, who had managed to find Xuan Yuan's bow, but was still struggling to control the heirloom weapon because his spiritual power had been completely absorbed. The situation got even worse when the Dark Commander purposely cut off both of Ao Jing's hands so that Ao Jing would not be able to use the legendary bow as a weapon. Fortunately, thanks to Li Jing's immense determination, he finally managed to lift and control the Xuan Yuan bow. At the time Li Jing managed to lift the bow, he was unconscious and entered the illusion realm, where Li Jing finally found out that he had inherited the power of the 7 very powerful towers. Li Jing then rushed towards the altar to help Master Jia and the others defeat the Dark Commander. Li Jing, who had transformed into a demigod warrior, had now become stronger with heirloom weapons and extremely powerful iron armor. He began to fight and attacked them using the 7 towers move. After quite a fierce battle, Li Jing finally managed to defeat the Dark Commander and eliminate the influence of the dark forces that had been controlling the inhabitants of Da Huang City. Unfortunately, not long after, the altar seal suddenly opened and the Dark Lord slowly began to rise again. Before Qi Ha fully awakened, Li Jing immediately launched an attack using his magic sword. Even though at first Li Jing couldn't keep up with King Qi Hao's strength and almost died, Li Jing was still able to counterattack using the 7 towers and the 1,000 swords technique. When Ao Jing realized that Li Jing could not withstand King Qi Hao's attack any longer, he decided to enter Li Jing's body in order to use the Xuan Yuan bow. After Ao Jing's and Li Jing's powers had been fused in his body, Li Jing began to transform into a stronger and more invincible one. When Li Jing shot an arrow at King Qi Hao, he had already destroyed Li Jing's 7 towers barrier and dodged the other way. Fortunately, Jia managed to create a teleportation portal so that Li Jing's arrows could still hit Qihao until he finally died. The next day, the residents of Da Huang City had completely broken free from the shackles of darkness and regained their consciousness. After their mission is complete, Master Jia chooses to return to the mountains, while Li Jing continues his life with Fengxi, the girl he loves. The moral message that can be learned from the film is never to underestimate the abilities of others, because everyone has their own strengths. Never underestimate juniors or people who are younger than you just because you think that your experience or knowledge is much more, because sometimes they have knowledge or abilities that we don't have.